process of getting a publishing deal is much like dating. It's not like you walk in and they're like, here's a publishing deal, sign on the line, let's go. And I opened my eyes and Chris Christopherson was standing at the end of the piano. I don't think that I would have ever called myself a songwriter until probably I had written songs 3 to 4 years. I come from such a blue collar, like you have to earn your keep. And I think in this case, I had to earn the title is what I thought. Like, I don't know what the metric was, whether it was writing a certain number of songs or signing a publishing deal, but it took me a good 3 or 4 years of writing songs quietly before I would even allow myself to say I am a songwriter. Because I felt like a bit of a fraud because I didn't think my songs were good enough yet. So maybe that's when I thought I was a songwriter, was when I thought my songs were getting better. Well, I had a crazy entry to the music business. I was a personal assistant for a booking agent at William Morris for 4 years, all through college. My original plan here was to try to be a manager or work at a record label. So I got this really cool job as a personal assistant to this guy named Greg Oswald. And through that, he would pull me up at a lot of these parties he would have at his house for industry folks, whether the head of record labels or publishing companies, other artists, and they would all be having a good time on a Friday or Saturday night. And he kind of took me in as a daughter he never had, and he would say, "Nick, play him a song," and put me on the spot and force me to play songs in front of people like Paul Worley, or insert whoever. I remember David Foster was there one time. Just so many incredibly, people that I'm like, how am I even in the room with you? I remember one time sitting there at a party playing a song, and I would always close my eyes, and I still do even when I play rounds, because it just helps with my nerves to just kind of go inward and not get distracted that people are watching. But I was playing this song at this grand piano, and it was called Don't Mess with Texas. It's one of the probably one of the first 30 or 40 songs I ever wrote. And I opened my eyes and Chris Christopherson was standing at the end of the piano at this party. And he just was like, "Keep doing what you're doing." I think it's all a blur now because it was so many years ago, but so many experiences like that through my 4 years as his assistant, that by the time I graduated from Belmont, a lot of people were aware of me as a songwriter. I was really committed to graduating from college, just for many reasons, but it took me about a year after college to get a publishing deal, and I signed with Warner Chappell almost right at a year after I graduated. Well, I started with a few of my friends who were on my level, which was the bottom at Belmont. Just other people that not only were trying to be songwriters, but I felt safe with as a friend. And maybe what we did didn't even really pair up creatively, but at least we felt safe to, it's you kind of got to say you kind of got to dare to suck. And be brave in the room and be say a lot of things that are really bad and get comfortable with that. And so I don't advise anyone to try to go through that process with somebody that's already an established songwriter, because it will, it'll mess with your head and really make you feel I think you have to work those muscles for a few years before you get those opportunities. But I was quietly writing with some folks at Belmont. There's a girl named Molly Reed. And we both ended up signing our publishing deals right about the same time. But co-writing for me really mostly came from me getting courted by publishers. The process of getting a publishing deal is much like dating, where it's not like you walk in and you play them a song and they're like, here's a publishing deal, sign on the line, let's go. It's very much oh, well, we like these 5 songs or these 25 songs. Can you bring us more? I have some ideas of who to put you in the room with to write, and we'll see how that goes. And it was through that process that I really learned to co-write as I was getting courted by publishers. And I'm so glad that I did. But I'll tell you, I wrote in the first 3 years, I probably only wrote by myself, all 100%ers. And I think that really helped expedite the process for me, because when I could walk into a publisher and hand them my songs, it was they knew exactly what I could and couldn't do yet. They weren't having to, when you look at a song that has 2 or 3 people on it, And if you weren't in the room, you don't know who did what. And so it was nice for, I think, a publisher to go, oh, she can do this this much by herself. What if we paired it with this? So I think writing by myself really helped me a lot. But now I can't even remember. It must have been 10 years since I've written a song by myself. I mean, when I say it's probably been 10 or 15 years, it has. 10, 12 maybe. I haven't written a song, like started and finished a song by myself in forever. And I don't really miss it. But what I do think that I'm doing, like as I've gotten better and better over the years, you know, you hone your craft, the 10, 20,000 hours or whatever I'm in now. I think we subconsciously, the better we get, are architecting the song way more and the idea before we ever get in the room than we realize. I think if I have an idea, if you said something to me right now, you said a title, like let's write a song called Twilight or something. If I left here today, I would probably have a lot of it figured out before I ever went in a room and threw it out to someone. I would have some ideas of how to land the hook and how the verses were gonna support the hook. Maybe have some cool like shiny words that would go with Twilight, you know? And I think, so I'm not writing songs by myself, but I do think that I'm concepting a lot by myself.